stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome once again to Sim Racing Media tonight. The Western States Racing League is back in action after taking a couple weeks break. Last time they were on the track, we were at the Rock, and we were treated to some late race incidents that caused the points to be delayed a little bit, so they're still going through their penalty protocol and what have you. Unofficial winner was Lyle Swearingen. JTW brought home second place after dominating much of the race. And that is where that kind of stood out. But tonight, we are at Hotlanta as they get ready to take their spin around this super speedway. I'm Mike Timoni. Joined with me in the booth is going to be Alan Bergen. Alan, man, how's it going?
Oh, it's going good. Like, it's Atlanta. I mean, and we're going to go under the lights here with that ambient temperature of 72 degrees, under a 75% relative humidity. It's going to be overcast tonight with a southwest wind here. Actually, it's going to be a northeasterly wind, and that track temperature is a cool 78 degrees. So, and well, you know, it's it's what I like to call a Chamber of Commerce type of weather.
Yeah, definitely. As these guys have almost all of them have already made their qualifying laps. Others to note that have not at the moment is Daryl Scott, Scott Kukas, William Fletcher. Looks like Keith Kelman started to and then elected to pull down pit lane. Todd Miles and last week's second place finisher Justin T. Wilkinson is still sitting on pit lane. Right now, provisional on the pole is going to be Butch Davis with Lyle Swearingen just to his outside. So those FBR machines are hot and ready to run here tonight.
Well, I mean, they're definitely hot, but I don't know if they're ready to run. I feel like that's what got them into this situation. I kid because I care.
Yeah. They got about 15 seconds or so left, so that is going to be the starting field. We do see Dustin Burns out here in the 04 Ford, rolling around getting some extra practice in. And that is over.
Just like that, we're going ready to go racing for 107 cool laps.
Should be getting ready to jump in their trucks here tonight. Bring up the grid. Got Butch Davis, Lyle Swearingen, as I said, on the front row. Two perennial Western States drivers in Bentley Glazer and Ryan Steele making up row 2. Julian Ricci up there in row 3 with Chad Simpson just to his outside. Wayne Hutchinson, Brian Barnes going to make up row 4. Row 5, Cody Matthews with Chris Simard. John Rohrer and Christian Bishop make up row 6. Row 7, Shane Jensen and David Weaver. Earl Weaver and Kieran Rugelli. Jacob Jensen and Barry Phil back there in row 9. Row 10, Bob Beltrami with Ron Hollingfield. Wayne Fleet, James Campbell make up row 11. Row 12 is going to be Dustin Burns and that 55 McDonald's machine of Justin T. Wilkinson, Todd Miles, and Daryl Scott. In 25th, 26th, Scott Kukas and Keith Kelman. And it looks like William Fletcher made some runs there in practice, but I think he's probably going to sit out the race here tonight. But that's where we start. Butch Davis on the front row. Going to try and lead them start to finish here tonight.
You know, I got high hopes for this race, and look, I'm knocking on wood, but maybe, just maybe, we'll have a nice long green flag run. And I probably just jinxed us, so
just make sure they send all the hate mail to you.
You know that the morning show that I listened to, they used to do a game called Pressure Luck, or they get a trivia question. If they got it right, they won. If they got it wrong, they had to give their phone number out on the air.
Well, speaking of good fun race here, we're gonna have we're gonna have some fun. They're only running a 45% fuel load.
No way.
Yeah. And 3 sets of tires in the pits.
Well, kids, I hope you brought your dancing shoes tonight, because we're gonna go dancing.
Yeah, pit crews are going to get paid extra tonight as they get ready to hit that Geico restart zone. And we are down and away. Green flag racing here.
And just like that, Butch Davis and that number 43, the FBR contingent, leading the way here. 107 laps will make up the distance around this 1.5-mile super speedway. Now, one thing you got to point out with this track, Mike, is pit road is going to be even trickier, as you can no longer just dive off the racetrack. You have to ride the apron all the way from turn 3 into the pit.
Yeah, you have to ride that apron, but I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that the speeding happens until you officially get on pit lane. So,
No, you're right on that. You're right on that. You gotta be careful.
I mean, I wouldn't want to go 150 miles an hour on the apron either, but, you know, it's possible.
I mean, look, we've all done some crazy things.
Julian Ricci trying to lead that outside lane, sliding up in front of Lyle Swearingen.
Julian Ricci almost found out what it was like to be in the soccer hole.
Yeah, definitely not somewhere you want to be. Want to try and hold that line as straight as you can. Looks like Lyle is kind of cheating almost to that outside lane, trying to get closer to the wall. Might be trying to get some air on the nose of that 68 Toyota, but Ricci's a little loose there. Doesn't look like Lyle is having a good time there, trying to give Julian Ricci some bumps to get him moved up into the front row.
No, it's almost like that inside line's got a little bit more power to it than the outside line, and Lyle Swearingen is just absolutely giving Julian Ricci the business there on the outside.
Yeah, Swearingen just trying to push that number 1 Chevy out in front of Butch Davis so they can slide on down. Looks like he's backed off now. Not, at least for a little bit here, as he gets sucked right back to that rear bumper.
Oh, we got trouble right in front of us. Happens with Mountain Dew onboard. And Calamity strikes early there, lap number 6.
Yeah,
once again.
Please send the hate mail to alan.bergen@simracingmedia.com.
It comes to your email too, buddy. We're gonna get flooded with emails. And who's all the hate mail for?
Yeah, let's take a look here, see what happened here. I believe that's gonna be Wayne Hutchinson. See what we got here. Go back further than that. I don't know why it wasn't.
Well, mind you, we were on board with the Mountain Dew onboard cam with Lyle Swearingen.
Yeah, that was like perfect timing to be there. Oh, it looks like Wayne tried to go up and get in front of Julian Ricci, just was not clear. Looked like Eric Almirola sliding up in front of Catherine Legge over the weekend.
Catherine was the gal that made her debut in the Xfinity Series, right?
Yes. Well, he ran there. She also was technically, I believe, the first woman to lead a lap in the Xfinity Series.
Well, she did better than Haley Deegan then.
I think Haley's problem is she has too many irons in the fire. I think if she would focus on one thing, I think she'd be a lot better than she was. But
like YouTube?
And all the other racing she does.
You know, here's the thing. While we're under caution, if you ever go to watch her YouTube channel, you can get down in a mini sprint in that micro. Her and her fiance Chase, and I've actually raced on R Factor with Chase Cabry. He's no slouch in that micro either, but he's not a bad guy to have in your corner when it comes to learning how to drive those race cars.
Definitely not. I believe she gets back into her.
I think her IndyCar stuff is coming back this month.
I think it's this weekend.
Yeah. I think you're right.
NXT Grand Prix of Alabama is Sunday.
That's a Barber. Gosh, what's the name of that course? Barber Sports Park, I believe. You know, another fun IndyCar series to watch too. That's the Pro Mazda. I don't know if you ever get to see that in real life, Mike, but definitely check it out.
Mazdas, that sounds like fun. I think we should probably just get a car and do the 24-hour limits. That'd be kind of fun.
We can.
We're stacked back up 2 by 2. Butch Davis, Bentley Glazer going to make up that front row. Cody Matthews, Lyle Swearingen in row 2. Ryan Steele, Brian Barnes, row 3. Butch Davis with the control button here as we get ready to take the green flag. And I'm not sure what's going on with Ryan Steele. Looks like he is staying down out of the way on the bottom of the racetrack there.
Someone didn't go. But nonetheless, Butch Davis says, you don't want to take off? Fine, I'll take off. And, well, off we go. Bentley Glazer on Sunday nights cannot buy his way out of a paper bag right now. But here he is, making it happen here on Tuesday night. And he's got Cody Matthews right behind him in that number 10 car, giving that 87 truck the business.
Yeah, but now you've got Butch Davis and Lyle Swearingen, FBR contingent, hooked up here. And you know that they have practiced and are comfortable working together. So teammates make it a little rougher, especially on these drafting tracks. But while we were under that caution, looks like we had a few drivers come down pit lane that were involved in the incident. Bob Beltrami being notably one of them. He's up 13 spots, running P6, third in the outside row.
No one's running up next to the wall just yet, but this is one of those tracks, Mike, where I don't care what kind of car you're in, you're gonna need a little help from your friends. And that FPR contingent, they have a lot of friends.
They definitely do. As I don't know where that start finish line is, seems to be the more dangerous spot here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're in Charlotte. I bring that up. I bring Charlotte up too, because when you come off that turn, that truck gets really, really light coming through that tri-oval, or the quad rather.
Yeah,
quad
oval. Yeah.
And just to remind everybody home that the out of bounds is in effect here. So you cannot go below the red line to advance your position.
Yeah, no, you cannot. Looks like as a result of that first caution, looks like Christian Bishop, Sean Rohr, and Wayne Hutchinson have all called it a night. Julian Ricci spent extended time on pit lane, went down a couple times. He is back out on track, but he is about 4.5 laps down.
Up there for Christian Bishop, he's been running so well, and tonight, well, he's going to win the race at the beer stand. Not a race you want to win, but hey, somebody's got to win it. And if you have a bar that you want sponsored, you want to sponsor the race at the beer stand, reach out to us. Let us know. We'll be happy to give you some airtime. I mean, look, enough people go to the bar. I'm not promoting, excessive drinking. I'm just let's get the beer stand a name.
Because at least they're done driving by then. Cody Matthews still pushing hard in that outside line. Go back halfway through the field or thereabouts, and you have James Campbell, Jacob Jensen side by side racing for 10th position. Still side by side making it work here. Coming through the quad oval.
I got nothing for that one. And they're still 2x2. Still playing nice. We got past that lap 6 calamity. And here they are just out here making it happen. If you're Butch Davis and or Bentley Glazer, you're just hoping that you guys get a good breakaway going as these guys are, Ryan Steele out there all by himself.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Ryan Steele.
Well, I know what's going to happen to Ryan Steele.
Well, yes. But because he was up towards the front, I think he was sitting in row 2. Ricci touches the wall.
I mean, he just grabbed the wall like he's on the episode of Cow. Oh, that's bad. Julian Ricci does the wise thing and stays out of the way.
Yeah, Ricci stayed up almost into that outside wall, just trying to stay out of the way. Didn't want to pull a Chastain to slide down and block every lane on the track.
I wonder how many leagues in iRacing will have the Chastain rule.
What, don't block anybody?
Yeah, don't block.
Listening to Denny Hamlin's podcast, he was not a big fan of that move.
I wouldn't be either. Hey, I got an idea. Let's just block the whole field.
Yeah. He also said that he thought it was a good idea for them to kind of have that open setup for the All-Star race, but the reason why they voted against it was because it was going to basically cost him $1 million because they wouldn't be able to use those cars anywhere else after they modified them.
I love the run what you run concept. I really do. I hate the promoter's caution. Oh, Marcus Smith can throw a caution at any time.
Yeah.
Great. So the spin is 200 laps, and Marcus Smith are like, what's going on? Let's call it the WWE for a night.
Yeah.
Well, you got Vince frickin' McMahon up there in the booth? Oh, whoa, wait. Denny Hamlin can't lead here. He's got to throw a caution. Oh, boy. Tighten it up. North Wilkesboro, tighten it up. Meanwhile, on board is Bentley Glazer here on the outside, leading the outside row there, and Lyle Swearingen down low with his FBR teammate. Wow, and that was a little close for comfort.
Slid right in there behind him, got a little loose, so it looks like. Going to allow Bob Beltrami to lead that outside lane.
24 laps into the history books we go, and Bob Beltrami leading that outside lane, taking command commanding the trip to the front, and we have trouble.
Campbell.
James Campbell, that's a shocker. Ron Holyfield, I tell you what, James Campbell will probably not be on Ron's Christmas card list this year.
Caution comes out, delayed, but looks like with Holyfield just sitting there, they elected to throw it before the field got back there. He is making his way down pit lane, but Butch Davis, Lyle Swearingen already headed down pit lane.
It's almost like getting hit in the arm, waiting 6 seconds, and then saying "ow."
Yeah, let's see if we can see what happened here. With probably need to rewind it because, yeah.
I think he was eating ice cream.
Yeah, just I don't know if he didn't see Holyfield there, but definitely on Campbell there. And it looks like everybody had to come down pit lane, so
Wholesale pit stops, as I call that.
Butch Davis is behind the pace car.
Butch Davis stayed out.
Butch Davis was on pit lane when the caution came out, so.
Oh, then he caught the luckiest break ever.
Well, there's just one problem. He's almost like he's trapped because he probably should have been in front of that pace car. Because right now, Chris Simard is scored as the leader after making a pit stop. And JTW, who was on pit lane the same time as Butch Davis, was able to get around the pace car. Hope he's coming back down pit lane, though. I guess we'll just have to see how it shakes out here. See if they're going to get the wave around here or not.
They might. iRacing needs to update their pace cars.
So some things change, but some things stay the same, as we have FBR Motorsports in the front row, but this time it's Chris Simard and Chad Simpson.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go. We're getting ready to go back to Great Flag Racing, our lap number 30. And as you've mentioned, Chris Simard, Chad Simpson on your front row, Bob Beltrami. He's going to be on the inside of the second row, and I'm willing to bet you dollars to donuts that he gets hooked up with the 77 car.
Well, he's almost going to have to, because if he doesn't, he allows the 77 and 42 to get hooked up. it could be a long time for him to be there as we are back under green flag racing here. Outside lane gets rolling pretty good. You have Bentley Glazer behind Chris Simard there. Or Chad Simpson.
Chad Simpson, Bentley Glazer on taking control of the outside line. Bob Beltrami is pretty much glued to that blue bumper of the 77 truck. Chris Simard there. Chevrolet, Toyota working together. As it works out a lot better, the math is there. You know, and at that bottom line, you can just get a good breakaway going.
Well, they got pushed out enough, and Chad Simpson decided to cut down into the bottom lane, so that kind of let Bentley Glazer, and it looks like not Todd Miles, it's the 10 of Cody Matthews up on the high side.
Babs, the queen of the show, checking in from Texas. She got a new phone and hasn't logged into YouTube yet. Well, Babs, you're logged in now. Greetings from St. Louis, where it's going to be rainy the next couple of days.
It started to snow here yesterday, and then it was almost 75 degrees today. So Bentley Glazer is getting shoved to the lead.
We're going to have baseball practice. Oh, wait, no, we're not. No.
Opening day for our Little League is Saturday, so yeah.
And they're calling for 4 inches of snow.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is. 46 of Earl Weaver trying to stay down out of the way as they were 4 wide there for a little while. Cody Matthews giving Bentley Glazer all he can take as he is out front now. Slide down in front of Chris Simard. Simard, Beltrami, Jensen, and Chad Simpson make up the front 6.
And just like that, Bob, there's a hole there on the bottom, and Bob Beltrami getting ready to plug up the hole like a leaking boat. Chris Simard getting shoved to the outside. No help from anybody. And Chris Simard trying to find a hole to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, Simard was looking out. I think Simard was hoping that Simpson would kind of come out with him, but he is not, and he is just going backwards in a free fall.
Oh, I don't like this. The 10 car, Cody Matthews gets shuffled out.
Oh, slides in, slams it down in there. Looks like Fletcher did join us. He's down on the bottom. Is that not Fletcher? Oh, that was Holyfield down on the bottom, staying out of the way. Beltrami and Glazer hooked up. They've had several races over multiple seasons. This is season 52?
That's a long time. The series is like an old man.
I mean,
Bentley.
You're looking at 26 years, basically.
What's that dog ears?
Dead.
Backyard. And the second line is starting to form up to the outside the rear of the field. And Lyle Clarendon, who's definitely got speed, the FBR contingent, are, you know, the teammates of Lyle Clarendon and Butch Davis are almost right in there like Paul Revere.
Now, Lyle Spurgeon wound up a lap down. He is the first car a lap down, so He's hoping Bentley Glazer doesn't catch it anymore and he can get a quick caution here to get his lap back. Butch Davis giving him a shove as they are trying to close in there with Chris Simard. And if they can get hooked up, you're almost sure to bet that Chad Simpson's going to hop out and go with them, make that outside row 4 strong.
Oh, here we go in the top 10. We're going to be loving, touching, and squeezing all night long here. As Lyle Surgeon and Butch Davis make their way to the front. Chris Simard going to jump out line, catch their draft. Chris Simard says, come with me, guys.
And I think if they can get another half a car, maybe one, I'm going to say Simpson's going to jump out there with him, and they might be able to have something here for these top 4 of Glazer, Beltrami, Jensen, and Matthews.
The outside line starting to get formed up. Right now, the inside line has the upper advantage. And it's been a while since, I don't want to invoke the curse, but Bob Beltrami, you know, whenever I was racing in this league, he was a force to be reckoned with.
Well, I thought the 42 was going to jump out there with him, but it looks like he is not. He is still hanging on that inside. Got Todd Miles behind him. We'll see if the FBR contingent can get by, and maybe Simpson will jump up after the fact and jump into the tail end of that line. You have JTW back there as well trying to close in. Scott Kukas behind him.
Here we are, working lot number 43. And it's been all Bentley Glazer all night long. Bob Beltrami currently running second. And it looks like your top 5 is pretty much just playing absolute nice right now. Except for Chris Simard, who wants to be different and go to the outside. He says, no, I don't need you guys. Got my own thing going on.
Looks like Todd Miles got a little loose there on the apron. They're going to have to tighten up here in a hurry, as I believe they're going to catch that lap car. Yes. Going to catch the lap car there. Probably not a good spot.
And here we go.
Yeah, they definitely tightened it up on that bottom side, as you saw Tamar jump in line on that bottom to just save a little room here. They didn't get the run off through the quad oval that they wanted, as that lap car was sitting there on that high side, but JTW is starting to close in as well, so they're going to be 4 or 5 cars strong on that high line here in a little bit.
The only thing that saves the high line right now is the fact that Simard, Davis, and Swearingen all have speed, and those 3 can run qualifying laps by themselves.
Yeah, Bob Beltrami looked like maybe that Toyota was getting a little warm, stuck his nose out, coming through the quad oval to get some air on it. Jumps back in line. Swearingen hard into that outside wall. Going to lose a couple spots there as he bounced off. We'll see if he can gather it back in and slide in maybe in front of JTW. And it looks like he will do just that, but that definitely slowed down that outside lane as it went from 4 to 2 in a hurry.
Yeah, now they're all but single filed out. A couple of cars or drivers just sprinkled on the outside line. Chris Simard definitely needs a little bit more help. He wants to make a run at that at the lead here. But here he comes. Look out. Just like 2 trailer park girls going around the outside.
Yeah, Simard there looked like he was trying to side draft a little bit, and Swearingen kind of wanted to go, or not Swearingen, Davis wanted to go a little wider, but they tucked in right next to that inside lane as Swearingen has got back on the throttle here. It looks like Simpson was going to jump out to the outside, give a little help there to that 68 machine. 68 hardened to the outside wall once again. Not sure what exactly is wrong with that 68 machine, but it looks like on corner exit. He just doesn't have the turn that he needs to complete it.
Yeah, here comes Chris Samard to the lead. And Mike, there is more action up here in the front of the field than a Waffle House at 3 a.m.
Could you imagine if Cletus McFarland gets to the Cup Series?
There you go.
Hey, a top 10 with a blown engine. Basically.
Did you see the interview he gave? After the top 10?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I was laughing. You know, it's funny because on the Dale Jr. download, Dale Jr. said if you watch the broadcast, you can still see the skid marks from the Dale truck on the back straightaway.
Yeah, the Dale truck. That was crazy. So 3 hooked up on the outside now as Swearingen has got that 68 moving in the right direction once again. Butch Davis and Chris Sumard going to lead that outside lane. But Bentley Glazer and Bob Beltrami have not left each other yet. And Beltrami is pushing the 87 of Glazer to the front, trying to keep him out there.
Absolutely. Here comes Bentley Glazer leading laps here in this truck series. Here we go. We got green flag pit stops. Once again, you do not have to be down the pit road speed until you get down the pit road.
And hot as everybody slides through the corner.
Bentley Glazer dirt tracking it. Tokyo drifts and
everybody.
Synchronized sliding.
Let's see how these guys get down. Full throttle.
Nobody locking up the brake.
Okay, that's kind of amazing. I would have thought somebody would have went around sideways or something there.
I would have went around sideways.
I mean, 170 miles an hour down to 55 in the last little box.
Here we go. Cody Matthews, Chad Simpson. And
good.
Oh.
Brian Barnes strolling around here.
I'd say, and then there was one. Here he comes. Why would he come all right? Never mind. He says, wait for me, wait for me, wait for me.
He definitely did the more patient pit stop there. Beltrami has Jensen behind him, giving him a shove. He's going to be the race leader down the backstretch, side-by-side racing for the lead as Simpson comes out of the pits. Simpson going to fall in line, lead back over to Bob Beltrami. And they are single filed out.
Yeah, that could happen. We only had, 2 cautions so far? I'll take it. I'll take it.
Definitely as Jacob Jensen jumps to the outside, and he's going to go the wrong way as that draft just blows right by him. Butch Davis, Bentley Glazer, and Chad Simpson all hooked up. It looks like Swearingen's in there as well. Swearingen still first car a lap down, wants to stay with this group in case a caution flag does come out. He'll get his lap back with that lucky dog, but if he's racing up here for elite with the leaders, he might be able to get it back the hard way.
Oh yeah, Lyle Sturgeon is not going anywhere anytime soon. As as soon as Lyle Sturgeon gets around these guys, he's gonna hope for a caution, and there it is. The precaution.
Promoters caution.
Oh, no. And Errol Weaver signaling the Crabman that he is done. And oh, left, right, left, right, left, right, wall.
Wow, that was close there.
That was even closer.
Just because.
Oh, you're gonna show how close that was. And oof. A little too close for comfort for me.
So the first 4 stayed out.
Yes.
Cody Matthews, Daryl Scott, David Weaver, Wayne Fleet.
Yes.
Everybody else came down. Bentley Glazer, Chad Simpson, Bob Beltrami, Jacob Jensen, JTW, Butch Davis, Dustin Burns, Todd Miles, Brian Barnes, Keith Kellman, Lyle Swearingen making his pit stop. And just as I say that, Wayne Fleet comes down as well.
Well, here we are, lap 60 of 107, getting ready to cross the finish line here. Well, the lights are out on that iRacing.com base car.
Not sure. Not sure why Daryl's not getting up there next to Cody Matthews on that front row. It took him a while there. Little half truck link back. Pace car is in. Matthews with the button hits that Geico restart zone. He's down and away. Like he's probably going to try and get to that outside as quick as possible. The driver to watch, so it's going to be that 87 of Bentley Glazer. See how fast he can get by Daryl Scott. Daryl Scott throws a little block. It looked like they're trying to stay up with the leader there. Glazer trying to work to that outside.
Lyle Swearingen finally gets back on the lead lap. He's running a solid 11th. Don't count him out just yet. Here we got a battle for the lead though. Cody Matthews and Daryl Scott in that number 62 truck and the number 10. Who's gonna win it out? Coming down to the start finish line there, 2, 3 wide. We're loving touches and squeezing on this restart.
Yeah, it's definitely something that you don't see. You have that jumbled group of drivers you usually don't see up front. Daryl Scott, Todd Miles up there trying to make it work. Squeezing down to the bottom goes Todd Miles. Cody Matthews backs off, lets him in as the 87 of Bentley Glazer slides down as well. Glazer to the point.
We have a little over 40 laps left here in the book. We're actually under 40 laps here.
Now Daryl Scott getting pushed all over the place by Lyle Swearingen.
Oh boy, here we go. 3 wide FDR to the front, up the middle. They drew that one right out of the playbook. Daryl Scott catches the wall like he's on an episode of Cops.
Yeah, might have had a little help there from Butch Davis, but they are definitely faster than Scott was.
2 FBR
Caution
team,
is
2
out.
FBR drivers don't make a
Caution
best
is
driver.
out.
Oh, he's coming. Looks like he's involved. Maybe Chris Samard back there and that 77 truck.
Looks like probably. Let's take a look. Oh, Brian Barnes slides up the track. Oh, Chris Samard in there as well. And the problems just got worse for Samard there.
I don't think Hank Hill's going to be on the side of that truck next week.
Like Brian Barnes goes down and then comes back up onto the track and
Oh, Samard just clips him.
yeah. And the worst part about that is I believe Samard was going to be the lucky dog. But look who's back up front. Got the lucky dog on the last caution, and surprise, surprise, the 68 back up front with Butch Davis going to be to his outside.
You know, I'm really not surprised to see Lyle Swearingen up there in the front. Nor am I surprised to see Butch Davis up there.
Yeah, definitely not. Going through the rundown of the field, we got Christian Bishop, Sean Rohrer, Wayne Hutchinson, Kieran Buglagi, James Campbell, Ryan Steele, looks like Ron Holyfield are all out of the race, so that is 7 drivers calling it a night already. Shane Jensen back out on the track, 13 laps down. Earl Weaver still in the pits. Chris Samard back in the pits. Julian Ricci, Wayne Fleet also a few laps down here. Lights are still on the pace car.
Yeah, Kristen Bishop winning the race to the beer stand here tonight.
Well, that's the other thing.
Wish.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say we're wishing Jonathan Leach safe travels as he traveling back from Louisiana. 66 laps into the history books. iRacing.com pace car lights are out, and the lights are extinguished out on the speedway, which can only mean one thing. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here on lap number 67 as that field makes its slow crawl down pit road. But nonetheless, here we go down to the end of the back straightaway. It's going to be Lyle Swearingen, Butch Davis, FBR teammates on the front row. And if I'm a betting man, if I got to bet my money, I'm going to bet that Lyle Swearingen gets a big enough jump that, Butch Davis can slide right in there. Or Lyle Swearingen just hop to the top and then away they go.
I'm going to say that Butch Davis is going to have to get behind that 87 of Bentley Glazer. Pace car is in. Field under Swearingen's control as they get ready to hit that Geico restart zone, and we are down and away. Green flag racing once again here from Atlanta.
And it looks like scenario number 2 plays out for yours truly. Lyle Swearingen gets too good of a jump. Here comes Bentley Glazer, and now Mike's scenario goes to fruition. Glazer going to the outside, and he's going to bring Cody Matthews right along with him.
Yeah,
here we go, down to number 3 and 4 complex.
Cody Matthews and Bentley Glazer worked well earlier together. So he elected to go with the man that's helped him get up to the front, Bentley Glazer and Cody Matthews. Swearingen, Butch Davis, teammates working that inside lane. Todd Miles just in front of Chad Simpson.
And here we go to the inside, outside. Oh boy. Cody Matthews, and guess who's getting into the mix now? The 16 truck, and that's David Weaver. We haven't seen him up here in a hot minute, as we got 38 laps left to go.
And that means at least one more pit stop.
Who's going to take the gamble? Who's going to... Well, I mean, they have to take one more pit stop. That's 45% fuel load.
Yeah, it looked like the farthest they made it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 24, 25 laps. In the second run, they had a couple cautions built in, but still.
I mean, so when does Mike Demani finally blink and come down pit road? When does Lyle Swearingen blink? And can Butch Davis save that much gas right behind Lyle Swearingen?
I run it till it's empty, almost.
You did the Maxwell House strategy.
Yep. I'd be afraid if I came in early. I'd be afraid if I came in early, there'd be a caution and it'd just screw everything up.
That's not what they're hoping for here right now, as Lyle Swearingen and Butch Davis continue to lead this piece. And to your outside, you got Bentley Glazer. You can catch Bentley Glazer and myself and Shane Cochran on Sunday nights in the Icon Cup Series. And Mike, I don't know if I know you've watched a few of the races, but holy cow, that series right now is just getting good.
Yeah, they definitely know how to put on a show on Sunday night as well. Several drivers from several different leagues that we broadcast kind of all found their way to Sunday night, so definitely tune in if you see any drivers you'll see drivers you know and love from here, and ECR from Saturday, a former ECR driver, so definitely tune in, check them out. Tune in Saturday, watch ECR as they are doing their eliminator bracket.
Oh, that. Look, I read that over the week, and that seems like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the bad part about it was John Osborne was leading the points. Well, he had a DNF, so he is out of that eliminator. He was first driver eliminated, so doesn't matter where you are in the points. If you have a bad race, you're done.
And that's the good thing about bracket style racing.
Inside lane is starting to pull away here.
You know, as we're on board, that STP on board with Butch Davis there in that number 43 car, FBR alive and well here, running up front.
I know they're probably hoping that Todd Miles elects to kind of go up in front of Bentley Glazer or behind him to get more of those FBR guys hooked up, as you have Chad Simpson just behind them.
76 laps in the history books now. We're working lap number 77. Lyle Swearingen continues to lead here. And right now, if you're Butch Davis and if you're Lyle Swearingen, you're on race radio right now in your Discord yelling, push me, push me.
Chad Simpson pulls to the outside, going to get in front of Bentley Glazer. Looks like he probably had enough of that yellow 19 Ford of Todd Miles in front of him.
You know, speaking of Icon, last time when we was at Rockingham, we saw Ryan Patty from the Icon Series make a truck start here at WSRL.
Yeah, you can go watch the replay of The Rock a couple weeks ago here on Sim Racing Media.
Hey, you know what? The Rock sure did lay it to smack us down on a few of those drivers last Tuesday night.
Yeah, definitely tempers were a little hot after the end of that race. Justin Michael getting turned under caution led to a crazy green-white checker finish.
28 laps left to go here. This one, we're working lap number 80 here. And Mike, we've been racing just for about an hour here. You know, these races, this is probably the longest green flag run that we've had all night long. And here we go, as Lyle Swearingen still continues to lead this thing. But it's going to be a battle of FBR here before too long.
Yeah, Chad Simpson moving to the high line in front of Bentley. Glazer going to have Glazer help push him towards the front. It'll be interesting to see what happens when he gets there. He's going to slide on down in front of Lyle Swearingen and get these three FBR machines hooked up. Or if he's going to just stay with Glazer there and make a better race of it here tonight.
I mean, Chad Simpson's pretty hungry right now. And Bentley Glazer is being one great drafting partner. So we're working lap number 82 of 107 scheduled here. And here we go, the first driver for Blake's. It's going to be David Weaver. These guys, though, they can't make it the rest of the way. They have to come down pit road. But when do you blink? As Mike says, when the fuel tank's empty.
Yeah, pretty much. I would be more concerned about a green-white checker than I would trying to short pit and get out front. I mean, I know Butch Davis is going to be one of the drivers hungry for a win, as he has yet to win this season. He's been running fairly well, got caught up in a few things, changed his paint scheme a little bit, got rid of the chromed out 43 that was blinding to everybody that saw it. And now he is up front.
Eyes. It's only going to be a matter of time. I don't think these drivers have enough to make it to the end. Here we go. Wholesale pit stops are just beginning. Let's see if round 2 goes just as good as round 1.
I know Butch Davis taking a flyer through pit lane.
Break.
Whoa, JTW.
And there it is.
Todd
19
Miles.
trucks.
Yep. JTW Todd Miles. So rough little entry there. We'll see if Chad Simpson can do any better. Flying in at 125 miles an hour.
And you know why the 19 truck hit the wall? It's because his wife wasn't driving with him. Group 2 did a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think Group 2 had their wives with them. You
Little
yell,
helpers.
break.
Have a
He's
hole in the
stopping on
floor
the
in the passenger seat.
Yeah. Oh, my wife, she's a little helper in the car. Didn't know where to park without her. Cue the text message in 3, 2, 1.
O'Brien Barnes, Dustin Burns, down pit lane. Chris Simard gonna take over the race lead for the moment. Still has to make a pit stop. Last stopped on lap 64.
You know, you almost wanted. Here comes Chris Simard, all by his lonesome.
Still has some damage on that 77 machine, though.
Down to the gearbox, and nice and easy.
Chad Simpson, Lyle Swearingen, JTW. Oh, Butch Davis. Butch Davis got caught for speeding or unsafe pit entry, maybe.
I'll go with speeding for 1,000, Alex.
Was Swearingen gonna take the lead? FBI
Lap
looks to
90.
go back to back again. Butch Davis.
Maybe this.
It's like Butch Davis wants a caution.
Well, JTW doesn't want a caution.
No, he didn't want one last week either, and he got one.
That's, you're not wrong there.
No, he was going to run away with that race, I do believe. Not sure what happened there with JTW. Looked like he just lost Swearingen there, so got stuck on the outside, and now he is up there with Beltrami. Chad Simpson going inside outside, trying to figure out which driver he wants to be behind while avoiding the car coming off the pit lane.
Oh, look out. I believe that's Barry Phil on the 28 truck.
Yeah, Barry Phil staying on the bottom, not going to the high side, staying in the preferred way around the track. It's going to tighten them all up. 3 wide. Barry Phil still staying there down on the inside, sucking the air right off of Lyle Swearingen. Jacob Jensen stuck on the outside as well. Clear up almost in that outside wall.
When you get any higher, you're going to be watching the race with the nosebleed and the real fans.
And Beltrami just clears Barry Phil. So back in line, single filed out. Probably going to be down to these 5 drivers are going to round out the top 5 unless something drastic happens here momentarily. Go back, look at Daryl Scott, Brian Barnes, Bentley Glazer all back here after going down, looks like a lap after Swearingen did.
Makes a lot of sense here, Mike. Here we are, lap number 95, 12 laps to go here. And, you know, we're back here on that 9th. Bentley Glazer 5 spots in the wrong direction.
They're trying to find somebody to work with when you're used to being up front. It's getting a little harder. I mean, you see Butch Davis down there on his inside as well. He'll slide up in front of Bentley Glazer. We'll see if those two can get hooked up and start moving towards the front. But right now, they've got 9 seconds to make up on Lyle Swearingen. And they have 10 laps to do it-ish, so...
I don't know. I think the sands of the hourglass is starting to run out for drivers like Bentley Glazer. Brian Barnes up 2 spots. But like you said, that's the top 5. Bob Beltrami, barring anything egregious happens, that, you know, I'm willing to say that we're staring at the top 5 finishers. Now, what order they finished in the top 5? Yeah, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, Swearingen, Jensen, Simpson, Wilkinson, Beltrami. Beltrami goes clear to the outside. Gonna try and see if he can get any sort of side draft off of JTW there. Doesn't get it, so he'll lose a little bit of time. Slide back in behind. So go by. Try and go by the 04 of Dustin Burns. 8 to go.
They're still playing nice.
Yeah, they're sticking their nose out a little bit, see if anybody's gonna kind of dodge up to see if they're gonna block or anything. See if anybody pulls out with them. Looks like Bob Beltrami might have pulled out a little bit too much. It looks like he's gonna start to lose the draft there.
Seven laps left to go here from Atlanta Motor Speedway, the new Atlanta, the 2022 version. You know, I love both versions on here on iRacing. I love the old one with all the bombs and the character, but I love this one probably better, just slightly better than the old version, because this puts on phenomenal racing every time. Doesn't matter if you race here in trucks, Xfinity, ARCA, Cup. You're still going to see great action here as we're coming to get the 5 Phalanges. 5 laps to go as Barney puts those 5 flanges up in the air.
Now Jensen trying to stick his nose down to the inside, trying to make his move here on Lyle Swearingen. Swearingen moves down to block once again. Going to try and get those left side tires right on that red line. Make sure Jensen has to go down below it if he wants to try and pass on the inside. And yes, exactly what you were saying. This does put on phenomenal racing. Yes, it's a super speedway-ish track, but in these trucks and stuff, it is one of the better ones here on iRacing. And the older track, it's more of a driver's track. You can, several different lanes, you can make your way around, you can make some passes. So it just winds up being fairly entertaining anytime you come here to Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely. We got 4 laps left to go. And there's no sign of this battle. Now the question is Jacob Jensen pull a late race move to try to get around here? Here he goes. Got JTW taking the bait, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see where
3
they
laps
go.
to go.
Oh,
I mean, I was going to say that he pulled a
Simpson
move.
tried to block and just put him on that outside. This didn't work out. Beltrami has caught him once again, so
He's got one more shot.
it's going to be interesting to see who decides to go, or if the FBR contingent just kind of rides around here.
Two laps to go. It's going to get good here. Popsicle sticks are in the air. Down the back straightaway. Does Jacob Jensen decide to go? I think he might wait one more lap.
Ooh, JTW hardened the outside wall, going to lose the draft. So that is going to leave it down to Chad Simpson, going to pull out, go clear to the outside wall, going to try and side draft up here on Jensen. Beltrami not going to go up there with him. Looks like he's going to stay down on the bottom. Going to have Chad Simpson go down to the bottom. Down the backstretch for the final time. Swearingen, Jensen, Simpson, Beltrami, and Wilkinson. Who's it going to be as we come out of turn number 4? Lyle Swearingen is going to lead them on out here. Will Jensen be able to pull out and make a move? He will not. Swearingen wins once again, back-to-back for Lyle Swearingen.
And just to think, he was a lap down. Got the lucky dog. Drove that truck all the way to the front. Congratulations to Lyle Swearingen winning tonight here at Atlanta, the first race back after 2 weeks off. And if you'd like to get in on this great racing action here, they are in the hosted sessions under WSRL. You can find them in the hosted lobby. Fontana, California.
Looks like 5-time race winner here. So with that, go ahead and let you talk to third place here.
Chad Simpson, it's Alan and Mike up in the SRM booth. How's it going?
There you go.
Let's try this again. Chad Simpson, it's Alan and Mike up in the SRM booth. How's it going?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, look, man, not for the lack of effort, but once again on the podium, it's an FBR 1-3 finish. And here you are at the bottom of the podium. But what more could you needed out of that truck to maybe finish 2 spots better than what you did?
Nothing. This track's stupid. The racing here is stupid, and if you pulled out, you're gonna get freight trained. So we just had to stay in line for 30 laps or whatever, and ride there to the finish.
Yeah, look, man. After 2 weeks off to come back, and the FBR contingent hasn't missed a beat. Take it. What's going to be the strategy going on to the next race, and what thing? And does the next couple of tracks play into to your hands, and as do you feel like you excel at these next couple tracks?
Well, really, every week is just about survive. Um, Next week, what we got? Vegas, right?
Yep.
Should be okay, maybe. Week after Fontana, okay. Daytona, crapshoot, who knows? Kind of like this dumb racing at Daytona. Really, you're just surviving. I know that the first crash, I barely missed that one in this. Lyle got caught up in it and did an incredible job recovering to win. Uh, Butch had problems. Samart had problems. Justin hit the wall a lot because that's what he does all the time. Hi, Ellie. What's up, cat? And it's really just about surviving to the finish and just maximizing points each week.
Well, look, man. Before we get you out of here, is there anybody that you'd like to give a tip of the cap to that helps you get it done here on the 43 or the 42 truck?
And thanks to Safe Secure, Crow Pro, Kipoga on Twitch, the FBR Sim Rig Accessories Creation Studio, Sim Motion, FTT, FR, Satellite Racing, FBR Motorsports, Bob putting them on each week, you guys broadcasting each week, the fan club watching each week. Thanks, everybody.
All right, that was Chad. Congratulations on another podium finish, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right, see you.
All right. Bring in Jacob Jensen. Jacob, Mike up in the booth, man. How's it going?
Going pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad. Got a second place finish here at Atlanta. How was the racing out there?
The race was pretty good. There was a decent amount of tire wear, but wish I could have given you all a better finish. But anytime I jumped out, it just felt like a massive ship was just sitting on top of my nose, and I couldn't make a run on Lyle and Chad wouldn't go with me since Lyle and Chad are teammates. But it was pretty good racing out there. The pit stops were fun, and I think we put on a decent show.
Yeah, definitely. You look like you were kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place if you pulled out, and Bob couldn't get to you. You were kind of going backwards in a hurry. So did what you could, came away with the second place finish. Still a good finish. Still feeling pretty strong in the points. How do you feel about the rest of the season, seeing as we're going to Vegas and then Auto Club?
Vegas and Auto Club are a lot of fun, especially in these trucks. So I'm super excited to race those tracks. Do a lot of good tire savings and see if we can pull off a dub.
Definitely, man. Well, anybody you want to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
Well, I want to thank the good Lord. I want to thank my mom and my brother. I want to say happy birthday to my Uncle Leonard. I want to thank my friends for watching this. And I want to thank Bob and all you guys who put this league together.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats once again, and we'll see if we talk to you next week.
Thank you very much. Have a nice one.
All right, we'll get you Lyle Swearingen, Ellen.
Lyle, you went from being a lap down to parking it in victory lane. Holy smokes, what a comeback that was.
Yeah, that first track was definitely set a bad tone for the rest of the race. Couldn't even pit, or else I would have got a penalty. So I was out there with that damage. But luckily, if I stayed in the draft, I was able to at least keep up with Butch and was really loose the whole time. So was able to at least survive that initial storm.
Yeah. So what's the secret sauce to one? You raced with a damaged truck here tonight. You worked on it all night long, got better, had good teammates. Do you think that was the secret sauce that helped you pull out this win here tonight?
Towards the end, it was. I mean, we got that second caution, and I was able to be in a lucky dog position. So got back on the lead lap and was able to march back forward. Had Butch behind me. We were able to go from the back and get up to the front, and then lead kind of like the third part of that race. Unfortunately, during our green flag pit stop, GTW gave him a little tap right at the line and busted him for speeding. So that was unfortunate. But Justin and I got back out there, able to lead. And after that, I think we had, I want to say, I think like a 5 or 6 car pack there. And Bob had no tires. So if he had no tires here, that's the one unique part about this place. There is tire wear, and if you have bad front tires, you can't do anything with them. So he was pretty much done. It was pretty much a 4-man race, maybe 5 or 4-man actually. We had Jacob behind us, and the one problem was that he couldn't get out of line without anyone going with them. So it was a risk. If you go out of line, you might get freight trained. And I think he was about to get freight trained, but he squeezed back in before that happened. So at that point, it was just covering the bottom on the entries, making sure I didn't leave too big of a gap for him to make a run on me, and just see what happened. And fortunately, we were able to be on top.
Well, hey, before we get you out of here and let you celebrate that win with your FBR teammates, who do you want to thank, and who helped you get it done here on the 68 number 68 Mountain Dew Toyota Tundra?
Teammates at FBR Motorsports, thank WSRL and Bob for putting these on. Been a really good season so far. Best one I've had so far on a Tuesday. Chipping into Chad's lead a little bit here and there, but he's still finishing top 5. So we just got to make steady progress, and hopefully we can give him a run for the championship.
All right. Well, congratulations once again, and we'll see you next Tuesday night at Las Vegas.
All right. Hope you have fun.
All right, so that will do it. Interviews through the race results here. Lyle Swearingen, Jacob Jensen, Chad Simpson make up that top 3. Justin T. Wilkinson and Bob Eltrami, the top 4. Daryl Scott with the top 10, coming home P6. Bentley Glazer, Brian Barnes, David Weaver, and Cody Matthews round out that top 10. Scott Kukas, Butch Davis, a hard luck 1 lap down, P12 finisher there. Dustin Burns, Wayne Fleet, Barry Phil, Julian Ricci, Todd Miles, and Chris Sumard winds up a few laps down in P18. Shane Jensen, Keith Kelman, Earl Weaver, Ryan Steele, Ron Holyfield, James Campbell, and Kieran Brugali round out the top 25. Wayne Hutchinson, Christian Bishop, and Sean Rohr, the top 28. And William Fletcher, looks like he didn't take part. So that will be the field tonight. We'll wrap it up here from Atlanta, and we will look forward to seeing what these guys can do when they're back on track at Las Vegas. Anything you want to say before we get out of here tonight, Alan?
Man, what a race. This track lives up to its hype all of the time, and I think it's even gotten even better. But, Mike, we're going to pack this one up and send it out west, and, well, it'll like, what, maybe a 12-hour drive to the broadcast booths out there and where you're from?
Yeah, from Vegas.
Next week?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad from northern Wyoming, but we'll see what Vegas can do. We know it's going to be a hot, slick track as usual, but these guys will put on a show. So from all of us here at Sim Racing Media and all the drivers of the Western States Racing League, I want to wish you guys a good night, and we will see you next time from Las Vegas.